Team, welcome back to the channel. It's been a fucking while since I've spoken on here. So, a little bit of a reintroduction of what the fuck has been going on with my life. Since the last time I recorded one of these, I believe I would have been in my previous prep, currently 2 weeks out of this current prep. And some of you who've been following my kind of progress on Instagram will know that I was originally going to compete this year. But look, I'm not going to bullshit you guys. The business has been growing so much, the mentoring has been pushing on so much. Since the last time we spoke, we've gone from 4 staff members to 8, and it's been pretty chaotic. Plus the fact that if we're going to step on stage, we always want to build some more muscle, right? So all we're going to be taking you through, guys, with this series is essentially a little bit behind the scenes of what I'm doing with my training, with my business, with how we're setting things up for clients, and just literally showing you the pure fucking raw value of everything that goes into building what we've built, right? Because here at Coach's Corner, those of you who've been following the brand, you'll know that we've got like a few pillars that I really kind of value. One of them is just personal development and growth, always looking to kind of improve. Another one, of course, being my fitness, and then the third one being the business. So you're going to see a mixture of all three on this channel. If there's anything in particular that you guys want to see, or any questions you want to ask me, or anything that you'd like to see us document, please just tell me. But the goal of this is essentially just to show you fucking everything. No holding back, no bullshit. No fucking overly scripted videos or anything like that. Just want to show you exactly what the fuck we're working on. So I'm starting every single session at the moment, guys, with abs. I'm a guy that just naturally doesn't have amazing abs. In fact, I actually said to my first ever coach, AJ Morris, I said to him, I was like, bro, I don't have abs. And he was like, no, you do. I'd convinced myself, so I was morbidly obese as a kid, right? I'd always been bigger, which is why I think that, like, my calves are okay because I've always carried, like, I mean, they're all right. Because they're all right. Because I've always carried a lot of extra weight, so it's kind of just like transferred to me being older. But because of that, I'm the guy with shit abs, so I have to fucking train them. I do sometimes in the off season slack off of this shit, but I really fucking shouldn't. So just 2 sets before every single session. One where you're bringing your knee up towards the rib cage, and the other one where you're kind of flexing over. Oh. One thing I started doing in my intro, to be fair, I started doing this about 3 years ago, but I never really considered this before because this is just purely electrolytes. I've already drunk a fair bit because me with my prep brain, I'm very fucking dehydrated, so I might have to go get some more water in a minute. But I always have my intro completely separate. And as you'll see, guys, like, as much as it's hot in the bar, I'm trying not to drink too much fluid during my workout because I don't want it just to be sat in my gut. So all this is 30 grams of carbs and 20 grams of EAAs. Now, I used to sip on this throughout the workout, but we need to think about how MPS is spiked. Okay, if you drip feed that over an hour and a half, it's not going to have the same effect. So what I'll tend to do, I have about probably 6 or 7 exercises per session. So I'll tend to get maybe like the 3rd exercise, like before I go into the heavy compound shit. Then I'll drink this. However, if I'm going to be stepping on the stairs for 35 minutes at a time, I will. If I do that post-workout, I'll tend to kind of push this back by like an extra 20 minutes. Just because you're going fucking hypo in the stairs and no one wants that. So a little tip, don't put this in the drip feeding drink. Drink it halfway through and you'll feel it more. Okay, so first proper exercise, really the upper session. I used to put my fly 2nd or 3rd in the session. The reason that I'm putting this first, so I tore my pec insertion in 2020, right before the fucking bullshit with the lockdown happened. And I pretty much spent the lockdown not really been able to train, not really been able to do much. And ever since then, my left shoulder hasn't been amazing. So there's kind of a few things I do for it. First thing I do is a combination of BPC 157 and TB 500. But I also need to understand that yes, that's going to bring down inflammation. It's going to help with kind of regenerating kind of, damaged tissue and whatnot. I spend a lot of time doing rehab work. So outside of the session, scapular retractions, rotator cuff work and whatnot, but also just getting some fucking blood into the area before you go into any heavy movements. And a lot of people argue like, yes, you'll be weaker for the compounds, but for many of us guys, that's a fucking good thing, I'm 30 years old, I've been weight training since I was about 14. So, I've been putting my body for a fair amount for a fair period of time. So just doing this, getting some blood in the muscle, it just allows you to be so much more safer when you press. And plus, with shit like this, you'll see a lot of guys putting the pin all the way down at the bottom. I have no ego when I lift, man. None. Like for me, I'm not trying to be a strong man or a power lifter. I'm just trying to fucking actually contract the muscle. So oftentimes, like I see you guys who you're lifting a lot of weight, but you don't look like you can lift a lot of weight. It's because you're not fucking using the target muscle. Nice.
Next couple of weeks.
Plans for next couple of weeks are, yeah, man, I'm the definition of ADHD right now. So, this week we've got a bunch of recording, like we're doing right now, creating content. We have a launch going down in September, so a lot of copywriting, a lot of email, a lot of carousels, a lot of reels, getting prepared for that, which will be coming out mid-September. So if you're a coach who really cares about physique development, business, building a personal brand, that's what it's all going to kind of encapsulate, because that's a massive part of what we do. So we're building that out. Then we have going to be traveling back to London on the 11th of August. So by the time you see this, I may have been leaving. So we've got a photo shoot on the 15th with Mr. Bailey, which I'm very much looking forward to in Nottingham. One weekend after that, we've got our London event. So our London event is the 21st and the 22nd of August. So I'm going to be talking. We've got Nathan Johnson, who's a 7-figure online coach. Galel Fajardo is one of my mentors, going to be teaching AI. We've got my staff member Ollie, who's going to be teaching time management. My partner Lauren, who's going to be teaching sales. And then I'm just going to be teaching marketing, content creation, building a personal brand, scaling a business. So we got that. And the weekend after that, so my brother and my girlfriend were born on the same day in the same year. They were born 2 hours apart, which is fucking crazy. So we got their birthdays on the same day, which is pretty cool. And then the weekend after that, we're traveling to Vancouver for a week for a mastermind event over there, which will be 2 days of kind of business development and then 1 day of AI. We fly back again. Then I'm going to be heading to Greece for a wedding. Then we come back to Dubai. So I'm not busy. I know. Welcome to my life. Okay, probably about 40 on that. Yeah, so one thing I also do, guys, with all of my exercises, I've always done 2 warm-ups per exercise, which really fucks off my girlfriend because we train for like 2 hours. For me, like, I'll happily wake up earlier and give myself some extra time in the gym to get myself prepared, because I can't be getting myself fucking snapped up again, I've had a long list of injuries. I've bulged a disc in my spine, tore my pec insertion, had tendonitis in both elbows, got arthritis in my right knee and in my right ankle, which affects my leg development, which is frustrating, but it's one of those things. So yeah, for me, guys, like, if you can give yourself an extra 20 minutes to actually fucking be ready for the set, just do it. Okay. So. We're just talking about the fact that, like, in business and with my fitness, I'm so dialed in, but everyone has weaknesses, right? My weaknesses is, like, with my personal life, like, fucking hell, since I've been in Dubai, I must have got about, I'm not even exaggerating, about 8 or 9 speeding fines. I've had a car 2 months. I got fucking charged. Oh yeah, here we go. So we do events for our clients in Dubai twice a year, right? Like a CEO event, we'll rent like a big villa, we'll have like fucking rent a yacht, go to the gym together and do like mastermind and shit. It's a sick week. And I paid like 9 grand, like pounds. So in Australian, that's like 18K, or in dirhams, that's like 45K. Fucking something crazy. And yeah, it got cancelled. So I bought insurance. I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna get my money back. There's like the smallest clause in the fine print that says that if there's like war or conflict or any of this bullshit, you get no refund. So we'll just discuss the fact that I could probably do a fucking chargeback. I forgot that I even existed. Like, me having the brain that I have, my life is so expensive. You know, forgetting about parking fines, forgetting about tickets, forgetting about chargebacks, all this kind of bullshit. So, oh fuck, and then something else happened. Don't do this. I was an absolute retard. I decided one day, so I was using peptides, right? And I decided one day, I was in a rush, I was busy, I hadn't had a shower, so I was sweaty, and I used a fucking old needle, and I got some bad infection in my stomach, man. Like, it was fucked. And I thought I had like mild sepsis. I had like flu-like symptoms for 2 weeks. My stomach blew up, it was like green and purple. It was fucked. And I forgot to get health insurance. That cost me £5,000 because I was an idiot. So in the space of 1 week, I lost 9 grand on Airbnb and 5 grand on that. So it's like 14K just gone. So yeah, don't follow my fitness and business shit. Don't follow my personal shit because I'm a fucking retard. Okay. Mate, my fucking joints are feeling creaky at the moment, bro. Fuck me. Here's the thing, guys, like 2 weeks out now, you're just not going to be hitting any PBs or any strength gains. I've actually been pretty solid. Like, I got stronger up until about 3 weeks ago throughout the prep. So I feel like my body weight stayed like really pretty steady. But now I'm in the bin, so just leaving like 2 reps in the tank on everything. It's just not worth it. Yeah, so we're just talking off camera there, talking about showing up when you don't feel like it. And obviously, you got to appreciate, guys, that I talk to 100 plus coaches every single day. And the common theme that I find is that when a coach knows they need to do a particular task, whether it be creating some content, outreach, ads, whatever, a lot of times it will get pushed back in a diary a little bit later, tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month. I'll do it when I'm ready, I'll do it when I'm not tired, right? I need you guys to understand, right? There will be 1,000,001 tactics that you can use to save time, to be systematic, to hire staff, but you're often just gonna have to fucking show up when you don't feel like it. So to be brutally honest with you guys, like today, I've got 5 consultation calls. We've already been doing work this morning for 90 minutes before I came here. We've got this upper session. Later I'll be doing my cardio, and I'm very, very fatigued, very fatigued. And I feel like people talk a lot about discipline. Oh, you gotta be disciplined, you gotta stay locked in this and this and this. For me, it's more than that. It's more of an identity thing. So one kind of mantra that I like to live by is that I can cope. I've been through worse. I've had more shit happen to me. I've had, you know, times where I thought that I didn't want to fucking be here anymore. So for me to go and lift some fucking weights, that's piss easy. You know, it's not a problem. For me to take 5 back-to-back consultation calls, easy. You know, for me then to go talk to 100 coaches, easy. Like, we know deep down it's not, but I think sometimes perspective is very, very important. And I think that if you want to take one thing from big guys in the industry, like Jamie Dorego, Jace Long, Jack Jakes, Joe Gibson, I mean, I can keep on listing names. They're all who they are because of how they identify themselves. You know, they're elite, they have high standards, they get the fucking work done, they provide a great service. And, you know, if you want to improve your quality of life tenfold, you have to shift your identity and understand that you're not going to fucking get there just from locking in for a week. No, this needs to be who the fuck you are. Almost, fuck me. Ugh. That's actually 3 reps down on last week, but I'm 2 weeks out. I ain't taking any more reps than that, fuck that. It's not discipline. Discipline's like fucking 0.3, guys, you know, genuinely. I'd say in order, it probably goes inspiration, so you have to be inspired to do the thing. So my why is massive. It's not in my gym bag, it's in my work rucksack. I wrote a note to my mum, an actual physical card to my mum this time last year, and inside the card it says, like, "Mum, you saved my life, you've done everything for me, I love you to pieces, I'm gonna retire you." And whenever I'm tired, all I have to do is pick up the card and I'm like, why the fuck, I'm not fucking tired, like, come on. So that for me is the identity thing. Like I need to look after my mum because she went through hell for me, you know? Like she really, really fucking did. So inspiration, motivation is like, right, let's go. But you can't rely on that because that's gonna fucking drop. Then we have discipline. That's you just showing up when you don't feel like it. Then we have your standards. That's the way that you see yourself and the way that the world sees you, which I feel like some people can allow their ego to take over with that and, you know, work silly hours and not rest. We need to recover. But then the final thing is identity, you know? If you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, why should people work with me? Why are people gonna pay me money? You know, that person's better than me. Fuck that mindset, man. Like, I'm 30 years old and I'm comparing myself to guys who are fucking 50 years old. I don't know, I probably shouldn't do that, but for me, this is gonna sound quite counterintuitive. I like putting myself in environments where I feel insecure because it grows me. I feel like I'm a small fish in a big pond. I recently went to LA to a coaching event, right? Guy sat on the left of me. We're talking about business, this and that. And he starts sharing his revenue numbers with me. And he goes, oh man, you know, I've been stuck at 5 million for a long time now. I'm thinking, wow, what a guy. I'm like, okay, talk me through it, da 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 da. He's doing 5 million a month, guys, not a year, a month. And I'm like, this guy knows something that I don't know. So we get talking back and forth. And he says, yeah, I'm really struggling with my content. So I give him some tips on his content. He implements it. Straight away, his page grows. And it makes me realize that a lot of you guys, because you identify yourself as smaller or not as good as or not as smart as, you have skill sets that other people don't have, and so do they. So don't downplay your ability and tell yourself that you're not good enough. For a lot of you guys watch this now, a lot of fitness coaches, you can significantly change the life of anybody on planet Earth. You can add years onto their life, you can help them get in shape, you can improve their relationships, you can improve their mindset. You can do so fucking much. So please do not downplay yourself because like that is the biggest way to just cock block your own business. Talking earlier about like when to take your intra. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the app, but this is Kahuna's, the app I use to track all my training sessions on, so I can like log all my weights and shit. So we can also see like how long I've been training for, which is pretty handy. So for me, I tend to keep an eye on that, and I'd say, because I have my pre-workout about 90 minutes before, if I then have a bit of protein, a bit of carbs in the intra, that's like a 2-hour window between when I've last eaten and now, plus I'm halfway through the session. By the time I finish this session, it might be like another hour, go home, chill, whatever, shower, get changed and shit, and have my next meal. So I'm almost like then consuming some protein like every 2 hours, and I'll just kind of repeat that throughout the day really. I would normally do cardio after this session, but because I've got a lot of shit on today, I'll probably do it a little bit later on. You know, there are some arguments for doing it fast or doing it whatever, doing it after, but if you're a busy dude, like, just get it done whenever you can. Just don't fucking do it pre-workout, because I see people doing that, it's retarded. Okay. Right. I know there will be someone. There has to be. If you used to be a member at King's Gym, comment below. King's Gym massive. There has to be at least one person. I know for a fact a lot of my followers used to fucking train at King's back in the day, bro. Mate, that was the best gym. Back in James Hollingshead, when he used to train in the fucking warehouse gym. We had him, Jordan Peters training, Cuba would come down and train, Louis Moylan, classic British champion. I actually jumped in with James and Louis a couple of times, fucking hell. But yeah, that was a sick gym. And then Amazon bought the warehouse, they moved it, and the environment was never quite the same. But that's one thing I find for me, like, right, if you're ever thinking of moving out to Dubai, there are a lot of like nice, swanky, flashy, like leisurey gyms. This is why I like this facility. It's a little bit smaller, but the equipment is fucking second to none. It's unbelievable. So you kind of need that environment, you know, where people are working hard. If hand picks the piece of kit, makes a significant difference to your training. And this is one thing that I'll say, like, as a business owner, you need to invest a good amount of money into the gym and into the environment you're working at, because it's like 1-2 hours of your day that you need to fucking protect. So very important. We were just talking just now about the power of routine. If you're serious about growing like a large business, so a lot of our guys in the CEO program right now, their kind of North Star at the moment is to build a business to like 500,000. The reason we're aiming for 500,000, and that's pounds, is because that's when you'll notice that life really opens up for you. You don't have to worry about the bill. You can support your partner if you've got a partner. You can travel the world, and you can just do what you want to do with it really and reinvest back in. So to give you guys like a little bit of an example, so this is my day today. I actually woke up a little bit earlier than this, so I was up at like 3:45, but I gave myself some grace and gave myself kind of, 45 minutes to wake up, have a shower, take my supplements, peptides, all that kind of shit. And the first thing that I'll put in my day, every single day, first thing I put in my day every day is something called a money now or a money later task, okay? It's like a profit task. A lot of people, they wake up and it's like WhatsApp, delivery, calls, clients. That's where I naturally want to go. So because I naturally want to go there, I actually now have to push that back by 90 minutes. And the reason I say that, guys, is because I'm a delivery guy. I love talking to my clients, I love having calls with my clients, I love doing check-ins with my clients. And that's phenomenal for helping those guys out. But I need to make the most of the Dubai time zone. Most of them are in the UK. So what I do instead is I'll have 1 hour of things that are genuinely going to build my business. So this could be creating content, it could be an email marketing campaign, it could be outbound lead generation, it could be looking at my ads, anything that's going to make our business some profit, right? Then what I'll do is I'll go for a walk, and you can see there, send 30 voice notes. I don't know another mentor who does this because, sorry to call you guys out, but some of you guys are just fucking lazy. I will connect with 30 people every fucking day on my Instagram, and I'll ping them a voice note. I'll say something about their content, something I've noticed from them, I'll give them a tip. And that has been phenomenal for building rapport and building relationships online. Then what I'll do is, after I've done those two things, you can't see this here because that's actually supposed to be earlier and I need to update this, but that's 90 minutes of things that are gonna grow the business. Then what I'll do is at kind of like 6 a.m. roughly, I'll jump on the WhatsApp and I'll clear my message from the night before, because sometimes if I go to sleep, like messages will come through. Then once I've done that, so I've done 90 minutes of growing the business, 30 to 60 minutes of kind of getting back to clients and helping them out. And then I'll come to the gym. And by that point, I've done 2 hours of work. I'm still ahead of the UK because no one's actually awake yet. I'll do my training session. I'll normally do my cardio, but I'm busy. I'll do it later. So I'll do my training session, get back, have my first meal. And then what we can see here, guys, like this is a fairly typical day for me. So that says meal 1, it should say meal 2. So we've got a consultation call. I'll get back to my clients again, consultation. And then after that, what I'll then do is kind of later on, we've got like another content block. So what I've been doing at the moment, guys, little tip, is I've been creating 5 trial reels per day, every single day. So the reason we want to create a trial reel is because this is going to go to people that don't know you, okay? Straight onto the explore page. What I will say with that is the best trial reels to create are normally going to be what I like to call attract content. So when you're creating content, right, you want to have your ideal client in mind. However, if you think of like top of funnel, so top of funnel is kind of things that are going to get a larger reach. Maybe it'll be a bit more triggering, it could be a bit more opinionated, but you're trying to talk to like a larger audience. Middle of funnel, you're kind of nurturing relationships, people are building rapport with you. Bottom of funnel is like super specific, right to the person, making a sale or whatever, right? The most effective trial reels that you'll post will normally be more attract-based content, more top of funnel, right? So if you're going to be like super ICP specific, don't expect that to blow up on trials. Good example, right? I did a trial reel recently where I was talking about peptides. Now, the reason I did this, I know a lot of coaches and personal trainers are interested in peptides or help their clients with peptides. So I knew it was wide enough to attract a large audience, but also specific enough that it would attract coaches. As of right now, if you run onto my Instagram, that has 500,000 views on it, and we've gained 1,500 followers from it, and we've gone through, and 30% of them are ICP. So a little tip for you there, look for trends, look for things that are popular, chuck 5 of them out on a trial reel every single day, and you'll grow your Instagram organically from doing that. Okay. So we're just saying, right, so Jace, shout out to you, bro. Spoke at our London event last year in October, and we had people asking questions like, oh, you know, what do we do if someone's a brokey and they can't afford like £200 a month, that was kind of stuff. And Jace was like, look, man, he's like, you have a skill set that can help thousands and thousands of people. He said, for us, we leave no money on the table. He said, we've got an elite package, we have our standard package, which most people go for, and then we've got the beginner package. Like, if you're a single mom and you want to get in shape and you have no money, we'll sort you out. Like, we'll figure something out. Even if it's fucking like 70 quid, 80 quid, 90 quid, you're in our ecosystem, you're gaining value from us, you're getting results from us, you're getting help from us. And then if later on down the line you can make a bigger investment, cool. Like, we're the people you come to. And I really admire that about him, because I think it just takes removing your ego from money and understanding, like, look, if I can provide you some level of help, then I'll absolutely fucking do that. So I think for a lot of kind of up and coming coaches, a lot of people are rushing to make as much money as possible. Don't do that, guys. It doesn't work that way. Like, and the funny thing is that as a mentor, trust me, like, I see people getting into this game and they're like, right, I've got no clients, I'm going to charge £250 a month. And it's like, brother, like, pay your dues. My first 10 clients are 35 quid a month. 35 fucking quid a month. No one does that anymore, you know? But I got a lot of results and people are like, oh, this is sick. Like, how does it work? And then word spreads. I've got a friend right now, Fridge, might be watching this. He built a client base up to 100 clients, charging 100 quid a month. And think of that, he's got 100 clients, 78% of them are getting great results. Now he's getting so many results. He's bumped his price up, obviously, but he's just got a constant waiting list. You know, and he's comfortable, he's living a great quality of life. He goes on holiday every like fucking 10 weeks. And all he's done is he's like bumped it to like 120, 130, 140, 150, like every like 3-4 months. And now he's got an amazing brand, he's constantly in demand, he's earning great money, he's got an amazing impact, he's got a fantastic community, his clients love him, they're referred all the time. And he doesn't need to fucking market, because his service is selling itself. So if you want to get great at anything, guys, put your ego to one side, pay your fucking dues. Okay. Pretty much just getting a pump at this point. Like, again, guys, you're fatigued, you're tired, you're 2 weeks out. Just dropping the load by like 5-10%, you know? I'm not one of those guys who'll be like, oh, my aura said I'm under recovered, I'm not gonna train hard today. But if you're a few weeks out, use your noggin, guys. I see a lot of guys do dumb shit and fucking hurt themselves. I mean, we all know about those stories, right? Of Dorian tearing his bicep, or fucking Tom Platz fucking up his knee, or whatever the fuck. Like, if you still want to be fit and healthy in years to come, just don't be a dick, you know? There's the time to send it and there's time not to, and now it's just not the time. As much as I fucking want to. Now, I have ADHD. So on paper, I should suffer pretty bad for something called rejection sensitivity. I know some of you might be able to resonate with me in this one. When a client leaves, you take it personally, you get affected by it. When someone pushes back on you, conflict really just triggers you more than the average person. And I'd say that I've got to a point in my life where I've overcome this. And the way I've been able to overcome this is volume. In my opinion, that's the only way to overcome it, right? Every day, I'll be talking to someone in my DMs, giving them some tips, helping them out. And every day, and I mean every day, I'll have at least one person be pretty rude to me. Now, if we'd met in person, bumped into each other in the gym or in a coffee shop, that likely wouldn't have happened. But obviously I'm a mentor, so you get branded as like a particular way. Oh, all they care about is money, all they care about is fucking us over in the invoice and all this kind of bullshit. And this is why, for me, a big thing that I'm focusing on over the next, like, well, from here on, building a brand, getting on camera, talking to people, allowing you guys to get to know me. Because the last thing I ever want to do to anyone, and this advice I'd give to you, is understand this. Nobody wants to be sold to. Everybody wants to choose to buy. When was the last time you went into a shop and you see a t-shirt that you like, and someone comes up to you and helps you and you think, no bother. And they push, get this one, get this one, get this edition, get these socks, get these trousers, get this thing. How about, and you're like, bro, just fuck off. I want to just buy, like, leave me alone, you know? Let me do my thing. However, if you can actually give a shit about the person, build a relationship with them, and let them kind of make the decision themselves, they'd much rather move towards you and buy from you. Case in point, I had a consultation call, what's they say? Literally 2 days ago. And I always ask on the call, so what was the thing that made you jump on the call today? And he said this to me and it stuck with me. He said, you were the first mentor that I've spoken to that gave me some advice and then fucked off. And that made me think, oh shit, like, this guy doesn't just want my money. He then circled back days later and went, you know what, I've been watching all your content, I love your style, let's book a call in. And the lesson in that is, guys, you can help people without being pushy. Some people will be rude to you. You gotta just understand that that's more a reflection on them than it is on you. And trust me when I say this, I sleep very, very, very well at night, knowing that behind the scenes, our clients are being looked after, people are getting results, and I'm building good relationships with people. So you have to have that confidence in yourself to know you're doing the right thing, and you're building the business in a way that's ethical to you and feels aligned to you. If someone gives you a piece of advice and you don't align with that, have a discussion with the person about it. You don't have to sell your soul to build a great business. Oh, bastard. Oh my God. Hey. Oh, you bastard. Come on, bruv. Fucking hell. Hey. Ooh. Okay. Oh, you fucker. Ah, it's done. When it's done, it's done, it's done. Oh, fucking hell. Guys. So, some of you will understand what I mean by this, and some of you are going to be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? The most successful men I have ever met have had some fucked up things happen to them, right? And I need you to understand that the obstacle is the way. What I mean by this, I moved to Dubai about a year and 2 months ago, right? And I deliberately lived in what I would call a pretty shitty apartment for my first 6 months here. Why? Could have bought a nice place, could have had this like 2-bedroom apartment with all these nice things, and a nice car, and I thought, nah. I wanted to put myself in an environment where it was sink or swim, so I got a place in Business Bay, got somewhere super cheap, studio apartment, and I committed that every fucking day of the week I was going to be up before the sun, I was going to work before the sun, I was going to get ahead of the game and push myself forward. Why did I do this? Every single time I've allowed myself to get comfortable, my mental health has dropped. And what I mean by that is waking up late, procrastinating, scrolling on Instagram, comparing myself, just fucking absolute bullshit activities. And all that it does, guys, it just holds you back so much from your potential, right? Now, some of you may know this, some of you may not. When I was just turning 17, I actually became homeless for a period of time, right? Now, the reason I no longer have fear around money is because I've been in debt, I've not had a roof over my head, I've slept in the back of a Vauxhall Corsa, and I coped. I got through it. I work with so many coaches. They lose a client, they can't book a sales call, they lose some money, and they panic. And they think, fuck, what am I gonna do? I'm not picking up clients, I'm not growing my business, holy shit. I have an unfair advantage, and my unfair advantage is that I've had fucked up shit happen in my life, right? Now I could create a whole podcast on this, but to cut a very long story short, and we'll be talking a little bit more about this on the YouTube. For 16 years of my life, I witnessed my mum get abused every day. And it was fucking tough, mate. And it's the reason I coach transparently. The reason I coach is because all I've ever wanted to fucking do is help people. I didn't care if I was a PE teacher, or a firefighter, or an English teacher, or if I was a fucking fitness coach or a mentor. Whatever I pursue is always to try and help other men and women to better themselves. Whether that's financially, whether that's spiritually, whether that's their mindset, whether it's their physique. I just wanted to fucking help people because I've literally witnessed people go through hell and come off the back end of it, right? So what's the whole point of this? If you've had some fucked up shit happen to you, you have to use it. You have to. I've been to therapy, I've spoken to professionals, I've had mindset coaching, all of which helped. But the big thing for me was just rewriting the story. I convinced myself when I was 21, 22, 23, I was like, why me? Life's unfair, this is bullshit. I became borderline alcoholic. I went to prison. I started fucking meddling with drugs, taking them, selling them, all kinds of shit, right? Getting in with the wrong people. And all that it did is it just put me back at being that 16-year-old boy, you know, scared, afraid, doubting myself, getting in my head, comparing myself to other people. And I had this fucked up mentality that if you had money, automatically you were a prick, you were a dealer, you were like, you'd done something dodgy to get there. That's the only way that my mind could perceive that, right? And it was only through being around other people that made me feel insecure that I finally addressed the insecurities, you know? When I meet another coach and they're helping 100 people, or if I meet a mentor and they've scaled a 7-figure business, or if I'm working with a dude who, you know, is waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting shit done, working on the business, building something, moving country, that is so fucking inspiring. And the one thing that all of these guys have in common is they've been through some really fucked up things and they've overcome it. So if there's one thing I really, really, really want to push you guys to do, which I know is challenging, if you're watching this and you think, either I've been through some fucked up shit, or you haven't, you have to fucking use it. And you have to put yourself in very uncomfortable situations. Do you really think that I want to eat no carbs on a rest day whilst building a business and scaling a team? No. Do you really think that, you know, I like the fact that right now I'm sleeping 4 hours a night? No, and I don't advise people to do that. Do you really think that every single day I feel motivated, I feel inspired? No. But I literally carry, it's at home at the moment, but I carry around an envelope. And on the front of the envelope, is a handwritten note to my mum. And it's basically me pouring my heart out to her, thanking her so much for how much she protected me and my brother, how she hid the abuse from us, how she'd hide the bruises from us, how she'd pretend that she was okay. And I remember being 16 years old, and I'd come home from high school, and I walked in the front door, and I heard my mum crying in the bathroom. I knocked on the door, and she opened the door, and her face was purple, mate. Covered in fucking bruises, cuts, her nose was broken off to the side. And I hugged my mum, and her blood like stained all over my school shirt. And I looked at her and she was sobbing in tears. She's like, I'm so sorry, you have to see this. And I looked her in the eye and said, Mum, I'm never going to let this happen to you ever again. 1 week later, we fled home. We lived in that car until we plucked up the courage to tell our friends. And now, as of today, I'm 30 years old. In November of this year, I'm going to retire my mum. She's not going to be working anymore. I'm going to fly her to Dubai and look after her. And she's not going to have to lift a finger anymore. And it's taken me 9 years of being the thick one in the room, of investing shit ton of money, of doubting myself every fucking week, of working stupid hours and doing dumb shit and taking massive risks to get to a point where I can finally look after my mum, I can provide for my partner, and I can build a business that truly impacts people's lives. So in case you see people online and think, oh, they're lucky, must be okay for them, I've been through fucking hell and back to get to this point. And I really want to kind of say to you guys right now, particularly for the men out there who are getting in their head and kind of comparing themselves to other people, you often have no fucking idea what these guys have been through, okay? Oh, mate. Oh, fucking hell. Right, so that's upper session boshed off. Back for some consults now. Appreciate you guys checking in today. If you haven't liked the video already, appreciate the like and subscribe. Obviously, you can follow my Instagram at George Dawinski. And shout out to Muscle Hut as well. The guys are fucking awesome in here. If you're in Dubai, come down and hit a session. Going to see plenty more videos like this. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see, just DM me on Insta and I'll always personally get back to you. Have a fucking awesome rest of your day. I'll catch you guys soon.